everybody, Jim here, and as you can see, it is a fairly gloomy and rainy day here in Tokyo, this gray December morn, but that's not going to stop me because I got a day off today and I want to go do a little bit of game hunting. So I'm on my way to the station now. I'm going to get on the train and head out to an area called Akishima. And Akishima is in West Tokyo. It's not far from Hamura, where I shot the last two videos. And it's a place I used to go to quite a lot when I lived in that area. And they had a lot of games and consoles. This is another one I haven't been to in, it's been more than 3 years. I would say I haven't been to this one since like I moved back to the States and then came back. So it's probably been like 5 or 6 years since I've been to this hard off. So I'm going to try to stay dry, try to keep my camera dry. And yeah, we're going to jump on the train. We'll be there in about 45 minutes. And then we can have some fun, do some game hunting. So stick around. Okay, so I'm now in Akishima, finally, and the rain has let up, it looks like, although this is about 45 minutes from where I was earlier. Still kind of gray, but not so bad. At least I won't be getting wet. And according to Google Maps, I have a good 20 minute, between 20 and 30 minute walk on my hands, which is, it's not so bad. Go for a nice little walk. It's middle of the afternoon. Yeah, it is about, I don't know, like roughly 1 mile from here. So I could take a cab, but where's the fun in that? I need the exercise, so stick with me. We're going to do this again. We're going to go for a nice little leisurely stroll through the neighborhood of Akishima in West Tokyo on our way to some hopefully retro gaming goodness. So stick around. All right, so we're coming up on it. I can see the sign peeking up from behind that restaurant, so it's right over there. That was a nice, brisk little walk. About in the area 30 minutes. And here we are. I feel like I definitely dropped some calories, which I need these days. And this area is, I forgot how, I don't know, it's pretty nice. There's lots of just like foliage, and there's even like a little bit of farmland and stuff. It's pretty nice. Pretty nice little area. It's definitely, I mean, still technically Tokyo, but you'd be hard pressed to guess that you're in Tokyo when walking around out here. Anyway, there's the shop. It's right there. I don't see a crosswalk nearby. Oh wait, no, there's one over there. Okay. We'll go over to the crosswalk then. Unless we have the opportunity to jaywalk. In which case we will. But it doesn't look like I'm going to. Lots of traffic. I'd love to. Just gonna wait. There's no traffic coming from that way. Alright. Time to cross that street, baby. Alright. It looks like it's the complete package. Hard off, hobby off house. Lots of good stuff in there. They buy used gear. Haven't been here in many years. We're about to see what kind of stuff they got. So let's get inside and check it out. Hard off. All right, getting started in this hard off, and I gotta say, it is still pretty damn good. As we start off by looking at this big old wall of Super Famicom and Famicom games. Good stuff in here too. We've got, well, first off we have Super Butoden 3 for 500 yen, and that's right on the money. For a complete copy of that game, 500 yen is appropriate. But we're looking at loose cards. I mean, we're looking at good stuff, people. We're looking at Secret of Mana and Rama 1/2. There's Kirby in there. And all kinds of other stuff. Puyo Puyo. And, not Panzer Dragoon. The Bahamut Lagoon. Other things like that. Bomberman, Tetris, Crayon Shin-Chan. Most of this stuff Loose carts are no more than like $5, and most of the box games are, like this. We'll take a look at this Rama 1/2. It's 1,000 yen. So that's less than $10. I'm not sure which Rama game that is, but they're all, 2D fighters. They're pretty good. And there's Magic Sword, which I love, and Yu Yu Hakusho 2, more DBZ games. They have the Donkey Kong Country series of games, which are called Super Donkey Kong in Japan. They had copies of all of those. And again, everything priced right in this West Tokyo hard off. And over here, a little more Super Famicom. And then all of this like boxed Game Boy stuff, which is nice. I'm not really collecting for Game Boy these days. And then all these loose Famicom carts. Again, there's good stuff here. There's games by Nintendo and Konami, Capcom, Technos Japan. You can see here DuckTales, some Hello Kitty action, Superman. Lots of stuff. And again, most of it is like $3, $5. Not expensive at all. And there's like, Yoshi and Dragon Ball. And this, one of the Adventure Island games, 500 yen. That's good. The Kunio-kun games, Gundam, all kinds of stuff. And here we have some AES games. Samurai Spirits for $37.80, which is I usually see that game for less, especially back in the day. But especially, and Art of Fighting 2, great game. So those are both like, I don't know, in the range of $35, I guess. And modest little N64 section there, where there's like Snowbo Kids and Hybrid Heaven, cool stuff like that, and boxed Famicom games as well, and boxed 64 games, which I can't argue with. Even some Wonder Swan down there. Oh, Puyo Puyo Sun 64, great game. Puyo Puyo Sun is I don't know. It's hard to pick a favorite in that series, but Sun definitely is in the running. So that was, nice. Some Nintendo stuff. Even a bunch of Game Boy games here. Game Boy and some GBA, other various things. But there's Kunio-kun. They actually had a bunch of Kunio games. Both in the form of a beat-em-up and some of the sports titles. So we can see here more Kunio Soccer, and other various sporting challenges. But this area was pretty much where they had all of their Nintendo stuff that's not in cases, anyway. And speaking of cases, hey, look at this. This case has some really cool stuff in it. And if you hear some whining in the background, it's because there was a kid in here twisting his mom's arm to get him some 3DS games. Pink Hello Kitty Dreamcast. They're selling that for about $100. Which, I guess that ain't so bad for that. A Neo Geo CDZ. That's about $200. Duo R PC Engine there. Multi-tap for your PC Engine. And just straight up PC Engines. Boxed and loose. So some cool stuff in there. And a Famicom Mini for like $40. And then a few things over here. Mostly just like a bunch of different DS and 3DSs. But then this is, for the most part, our console out. There's consoles on the other side too. But we've got Mega Drive 2s. In immaculate condition. They're like $100. The white PS2 Slim. PS2 Slims, still quite pricey. And some loose Mega Drives as well. Good stuff. This complete PlayStation. It's $40 for something in very nice condition. And some Famicoms. These are all complete as well. And they're like $50. This one, for whatever reason, $71.50. It didn't look that much better off to me, but what do I know? And Super Famicoms, and Wii U's, loose Famicoms, and they're like 30-something bucks. So if you want a loose Famicom, Tales of Vesperia Edition Xbox 360, that's kind of cool. Even a 3DO, but it looked like it was just the deck with no hookups or anything. And more Super Famicoms. And these are in really great condition too. Complete and in fantastic shape. And they're about $60. So I like that. And moving right along,
to an aisle I found some pretty cool stuff in. We get started here. We've got some PlayStation 1 and Saturn stuff. And I always love digging through their PS1 things. RoboPit, Biohazard 2, 300 yen. Nice and cheap. Rockman X5 for 1,000 yen. X4 for like 1,800 yen. Those are not bad prices. And Rockman Battle and Chase. Is that 800 yen? For Rockman Battle and Chase? Fantastic kart racer. Love it. And some Disney Tetris. Okay. Tetris I haven't tried yet. And we have some Saturn stuff here. There wasn't that much, though. There's Fighters Megamix and King of Fighters. But Roommate. I wonder what that game is about. But for the most part, their Saturn section was a little lacking. I think I said this before. This is something I've noticed a lot of recently when it comes to like Saturn and Dreamcast especially. Not finding much, even though they got Daytona, they got Puyo Puyo, they got a handful of things, but nothing that really knocked my socks off, which is unfortunate because I do still really enjoy collecting for my Saturn. This really ratty King of Fighters 95, and they're selling that for like 800 yen. So that's okay. And Virtua Fighter Kids for 200 yen. That game's like a fun little distraction. And for 200 yen, I mean, why not, right? And Dreamcast, including Tokyo Extreme Racer 2, Code Veronica. A few PC Engine games here, including this one, Moto Rotor 2 by Messiah. I had the original Moto Rotor. Didn't know there was a second one, actually. So I went ahead and picked that up. But on the shelf, at least, that was the only PC Engine game that caught my attention. Everything else was like really, common. Nothing I was really interested in. But we'll see later. This I thought was pretty cool. It's Street Fighter 02, but like with a variant cover. So the back cover is the front cover. And then this, I think the cover we all know and love. And then there's the back cover. So I guess they reprinted it in just a regular jewel case with a different cover. And I thought that was kind of cool. And again, Star Gladiator for just a few bucks. That is a steal, people. I will continue to sing the praises of Star Gladiator and the sequel, Plasma Sword. And this, Spriggan Lunarverse. I had never played this, but it looked pretty cool. Actually ended up picking that up for 300 yen. Complete with spine card and everything. That's a really good deal. And we have PS2 games. More PS2 than PS1, actually, in this hard off. And while I'm kind of slowed down on PS2 collecting, well, slowed down, pretty much a screeching halt, because I pretty much have everything I really want for the PS2. Gun Griffin Blaze, that's cool. That was actually one of the first PS2 games I owned back in the day. So I do like that game, kind of like first-person mech action game. And just a whole bunch of stuff in here. Eventually, when you really start to get into Japanese PS2 library, you'll find there's a lot of stuff in there that's just like dating sims and mahjong and weird stuff that I don't really have much interest in. But then there is other stuff too. Other really great stuff on the Japanese PS2 and just the PS2 in general. One of my favorite consoles. And even some PSP. I've actually never owned a PSP. I've never even played a PSP, like in my entire life. Or a Vita. Not a handheld guy. And they do have this kind of like modest selection of PS4 games. These sections are starting to grow, though. More and more PS4 games are getting turned into hard-offs and book-offs and stuff. So they're kind of becoming a go-to place if you're buying games for your PS4 and whatnot, your current-gen stuff, and you want to save a few bucks. Some Blaze Blue on PS3. That's very nice. Persona 4 Arena Ultimate. Some Biohazard. Other various things. So for PS4, PS3, and now more and more the Switch as well. There's lots of cheaper stuff you can find. And I thought this was... Oh, that's just adorable. Look, they got some Xbox games. Isn't that cute? They had some Xbox games. Pretty much my Xbox 360, my Japanese 360 is used exclusively for playing shoot 'em ups. So if they don't have any of the shooters in their selection there, I'm not terribly interested. As we move on to this other shelf, we have, like I said, some Switch stuff here: Astral Chain, God Wars, Dragon Quest Builders. Not a whole lot in this particular hard off, but if you do, Project X Zone, awesome. I love that whole series, by the way, those crossover games. But if you do, come to Japan to do some game hunting, or if you're just kind of throwing that into your trip and you want to find some Wii or Switch stuff, hard offs and book offs, pretty safe bet. You're gonna find some cheap stuff, and some clone consoles. This gigantic DJ controller by Konami. It's bigger than any console I've ever seen. Another Mega Drive. These Saturns, loose Saturn for $4,400 and boxed for $5,500. So that's some really good deals. And you can see there it is complete, so it does come with everything you need to get going. That's nice and cheap. And that the 3-month, 90-day warranty on those, which is very generous for an old Sega Saturn like that. Those things are 20 some odd years old. And the total package for Samba de Amigo, game, maracas, everything you need to start having a great Amigo time. But we come around to some glass cases. My attention will always be brought to these, as we see some cool stuff in here. Some Final Fight and other various things. Some Kunio, Street Fighter Zero 2, Aladdin, Kirby, Adventure Island. All this stuff boxed and in pretty damn good shape, if I do say so myself. And Rockman World 2. Very cool stuff. And they had a handful of these little cases. We got nice boxed Super Famicom there, and then some loose Super Famicom over here, including Turtles and Fireman, Castlevania, Metroid, all the good stuff. We even got some Taiko no Ginsan, Castlevania 3, Sweet Home, Kid Dracula, some Rockman games. Lots and lots of good stuff in here. Some of it I don't understand why you would need to put it in a glass case. Most of it isn't worth that much more than what's on the racks. We got some Super Art type. We got all these nice box games down here, including Castlevania, Mario 3, Super Donkey Kong 3, Famicom Batman, Ninja Ryu Kenden 2, some of the Ganbare Goemon, just all kinds of cool stuff. So looking at this case was nice. Wasn't anything I was interested in there so much, but this case actually had some things I was interested in. Lots of jewel case stuff, Snatcher on PlayStation, other various things. But what I was really into, as we look at some of these cool, I keep getting sidetracked, these cool, some soundtracks, which is always nice to come across some soundtracks. But we've got Saturn and PC Engine in here. So there's Splatterhouse, Double Ring, Super Darius 2, Mr. Heli, even a Neo Geo CD game. How about that? But yeah, they had some pretty cool PC Engine games in this case. PC Engine games I did not have yet. And while they weren't exactly what I would call cheap, they're definitely under what you're going to pay in, like, Akiba, for instance. So I figured while I was here, I would grab some PC Engine games out of that case. So happy to say I actually walked out of here with a handful of PC Engine games. That's all for this side of the shop, but no trip is complete without saying hello to the bargain bins, or the junk bins. So you can just see all of this PS2. Not everything in it is bad. It's like Front Mission and Ape Escape, a copy of Biohazard, the original, in pretty okay shape, at least on the outside. And it's 100 yen. All this stuff is less than $1. I think with the exchange rate now, it's like 92 cents for all of these games. And that's pretty good. So for like the discs and stuff, they might be a little scratched, a little scuffed. But That's not a big deal because you can get Gran Turismo and you know, Hot Shots Golf and Ape Escape and all these things for under $1. There's even a nice little selection of Dreamcast games. Well, I say that, but there is like some wrestling in there and some like Biohazard, Code Veronica. You know, like less than $1 for games like that. That's not bad. I mean, you can't argue with that. I mean, even if it is like just some, you know, crappy sports title, I don't think you're gonna do much better than 90 some odd cents for them. And as we see some junk consoles and things like that, and I'm you know, we got some Tetris, other loose handheld stuff in here. As I'm recording this, sitting in my apartment, and my foot has fallen asleep, so I want to concentrate on this video, but now I've got pins and needles. We got Street Fighter 2. We got just a ton of these Pokemon Stadium games for N64. I always find those in these junk bins. They're just everywhere. As we look at some Super Famicom games, let me guess. There's going to be, well, there's Dragon Quest V in the running for my favorite Dragon Quest game, so you can't argue with that. Like, these carts, they're going to be dirty and stuff like that. Sun-faded, maybe. But, you know, if you don't mind cleaning them, just sit at home with some Q-tips and some, I don't know, some rubbing alcohol or something, and just clean the cart itself, clean the contacts. Baseball Stars. Classic 8-bit baseball game. So, you know, just clean it up a little bit. If you don't mind cleaning your games, you can get some super, super cheap stuff in these junk bins. Even a copy of the original Dragon Ball, which is a pretty fun game. Frustrating as all hell, but fun for being, I think, the first Dragon Ball game. Anyway, that's it, everybody. My foot is asleep. I need to get the hell out of here. But thanks for walking around with me. But I am going to take it outside. So let's go. Okay. I have a nice little bench here to have a seat. And hopefully it's not too wet. No, it's fine. I'll dry off. Anyway, surprisingly, they had some PC Engine stuff in there. So I got excited and picked up a few games. Still just as good as I remembered it. There's lots of consoles and games. So I ended up picking up that copy. If focus, please. Motor Rotor 2, which I like the first game, so I figured I would give that one a try. Expand the PC Engine collection a bit. Picked up Rastan Saga 2. I like the first Rastan Saga, so nice little addition. The only other game, PlayStation game I got, Spriggan Lunarverse. I know about the Spriggan, I believe, anime, so went ahead and grabbed that. Double Ring, or W Ring, side-scrolling shooter for the PC Engine by Nagsat. Been wanting that for a little while, and at 66, roughly $60, I was able to get it for a little cheaper than I see in like Akiba and stuff. And then Super Darius 2 on PC Engine CD, because I do love me some Darius, or Darius, as I guess it's supposed to be pronounced. But there you go, some pickups for me. Alright, so that was pretty sweet. I had fun digging around in there. They had a lot more than just, you know, the games I picked up. They had good stuff on Famicom, Super Famicom, lots of, you know, PS2 and PS1 and stuff. So, I mean, it was, it still is to this day, and I need to cross right quick. Still to this day, pretty damn good hard off here in Akishima. So if you do indeed come to Tokyo, and you come out to West Tokyo like I do, this is a good one to stop by. They got some good stuff. Anyway, that's it for Akishima Hard Off. And now I gotta walk back to Akishima Station. And back on the train, head back home. First and foremost, play some PC Engine games. And then do a little editing
so that I can get this video out to you, adoring viewers. Anyway, talk to me down in the comments. Let me know if you're liking the game hunting videos, and if you would like to see something a little different, maybe a change to format or something like that. Anyway, oh, here we go. Thank you everybody for watching. I do so much appreciate it. This month we're over 17,000 subscribers, and projected to hit 18 by the end of the month. So that's fantastic. I don't understand why my channel is experiencing growth like this all of a sudden. It was like 7 years of nothing, and then pow, 2019, here we come. Anyway, thanks everybody for watching, liking, subscribing, etc., etc. And until next time, take care, everybody. Goodbye.